Hello and welcome to Biscom Politics. I'm Olumide Shokoya. Biscom Politics is a political program where we discuss political issues affecting the society. The gubernatorial elections are just days away. There's so much tension in the air. Different political parties are here and there trying to get their electorate to vote in their favor. Joining us today on Biscom Politics is the deputy governorship candidate for the Zenith Labour Party. I have Mr. Moses Adekoyejo Kassim. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get right to it. The first question I would like to ask is what inspired you to go into politics and why the Zenith Labour Party?
Well, this is not my first time of contesting elections in Lagos State. In 2003, I was the House of Reps candidate in the ballot for a TIOSA constituency, 2003, under National Conscience Party of the late Chief Khalifa Wemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and Senior Advocate of the Masses. Apart from that, it's a call. I am a clergyman, ordained apostle, ordained minister. I believe that the clergyman should be relevant in the marketplace. So it's also a call and also an aspiration.
All right. Now, you said you're a clergyman. And, sometimes people say we've not really had people in a faith community coming into politics. So how would you be able to manage the two? I mean, would you leave one for the other? Are you living your clergy life and going fully into politics, or are you merging the two together?
First of all, I am a lawyer of over 30 years in the bar, called over 1990, and I'm a former magistrate, chief magistrate with the Lagos State Judiciary, retired. I'm not a full-time clergyman. I'm a clergyman in the marketplace, so I define my clergy. I'm a clergyman in the marketplace, but apart from that, if you look at the Bible very well, there were some men of God in the Bible who were also politicians. We talk about Paul. They were professionals. Paul was a doctor, and others. They were fishermen like Peter. So nothing is bad, and it's not an inconsistency. It's not a paradox for a clergyman to also be in politics.
All right.
Bible says in 3 John 3, it says that, beloved, I wish above all things that thou may prosper and live in health, even that thy soul prosper. So 3 in 1. Spirit, soul, and body. So I'm a clergyman in the marketplace.
All right, we have different political parties with different promises, different agendas, things that they have promised to do. So what stands your party apart from every other candidate? What would you say is the area that you are going into, is your number one agenda for Lagos State?
Thank you very much. First of all, the Labour Party, as we have come together, with my principal, the governorship candidate, Mr. Mode Adekoyejo. First of all, we want to start with the issue of law and justice. Law and justice. We want to make sure that no judge in Lagos State earns less than 10 million naira a month. Is this possible?
Do we have
the internal I think the National Industrial Court has already made a ruling, judgment that they should be paid something like that. Also, no magistrate in Lagos State, depending on the level, would earn less than 5 million naira a month. Law and justice is very, very important. Apart from that, also, you want to talk about security. All the children of policemen in Lagos State, either you are transferred or you are working in Lagos State, all the children of policemen, at least 4, will have free education from the primary level to last to the university, tertiary institution level. Such a policeman and law enforcement officer in Lagos, not the military, not the army, policemen. This is to encourage proper maintenance of law and justice. So rule of law. Apart from that also, we want to make sure there's a total independence of the judiciary, spirit, soul, and body. We don't have what we call a total independence of the judiciary right now. We want to make sure that their revenue, their money, their finance, their salary is gotten from a very independent source. No more going begging from the governor's office. That is one of the things which are distinguished. Apart from that also, we want to set up for the first time in the history of Africa and Lagos State and Nigeria, what I call the Ministry of Good News and Innovation. This Ministry of Good News and Innovation It's about we are preparing people to win the Nobel Prize in Lagos State for the first time. Good news is wherever there's a discovery from LASU, from Tech, any institution of learning, teacher institution in Lagos State, or ideas brought up by entrepreneurs, they will come under this ministry, and we make sure that we encourage them. We encourage people to discover new ideas, initiatives. So that's what we are going to do differently. Apart from that, also, sir, if I may continue, before I hand over to you, sir. For the first time, in Nigeria, in Lagos State, we have a commissioner for health, commissioner for education. They don't visit the institutions. We are going to make sure that the commissioner for education visits, or his officers and assistants visits the schools in Lagos State at least once a month to know what's really happening in the school. Also, the commissioner for health must, and also other commissioners must visit the institution whereby they are overseeing. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. From all you've mentioned, I could see that you have a lot in store for both civil and public servants. What about the private sector? What about the youths? What plans do you have for them?
Thank you so much. We have a lot of programs. We have what we call the youth empowerment. We have the women empowerment. And we have the empowerment of the disabled persons in the state. Youth empowerment is to take away the youth from the streets. I don't like to call them area boys. I call them the good boys. It's society which creates them. So we want to negotiate, discuss with them. We are not going to force them. We are not going to fight them. They are our brothers and sisters around us. Sometimes they are doing even good things. But whatever is the case, the issue of standing on the road, harassing, asking for money. Of course, it was stopped in Lagos Island. I think we hardly have them in the Lagos Island. But in other parts of Lagos State, we want to discuss with them. We want to create a job opportunities for them. We want to pay them a stipend. At least encourage them to leave the road. That's the youth empowerment. We want to create employment for the youth of the good people of Lagos, the good youth of Lagos State, by establishing industries. My dear brother, we have a lot of water in Lagos State, but we don't have water to drink. No water to bathe. We want to create what I call water chain industries, which includes fish, crab, and industries and the chains. We will make sure that these are also established in 5 areas of Lagos State, and we will make sure that these youths are being employed in these places. Women empowerment, this is what we call the Beijing Conference Declaration. We call it affirmative actions. Affirmative action, that every country who has signatory to that convention of women affirmative action must be given at least 25 or at least 35% of employment. Women will be employed at least 25% or 35% of women professionals in Lagos State. I'm speaking on behalf of my principal and myself and my party. We have sat down and discussed that women will be empowered. Disability. This is what we call Disability Law and Convention Acts. Disability Law of Lagos State, the Special Persons Law of Lagos State. We can make sure that we employ at least 2 commissioners in Lagos State will be disabled persons, either the blind, the deaf, or the dumb, etc., etc.
All right. Looking at the last presidential election, what's your assessment so far? I mean, the performance of INEC, the turnout of voters.
The turnout was so poor. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, look at the statistics, it was so poor. And I think the reason for this was due to what happened recently and still ongoing. There was fuel scarcity, one. There was the lack of Naira, due to the restructuring of the Naira, the new Naira notes. Also, the people were unhappy. There is too much of poverty in the land. Things are getting more costly. Gari, bread, you can imagine bread, which was to be 300 Naira from a few months ago. Now you hardly see a bread. No bread costs less than, depending on the size. If you buy a bread of 1,000 Naira, a loaf of bread of 1,000 cannot do a whole family of 3 or 4 or 5. So the people are unhappy. The people are not happy. And secondly, will I say there was not enough social encouragements or information, depending on the facilities available to inform the people. So the Ministry of Orientation and Information have a lot to do in the various languages in Nigeria. At least Calabar language over there, Yoruba language, so that people can come out. Those who are in the rural areas. These are the reasons why the turnout of the voters for the first time was so low in the recent presidential and national assembly elections.
Okay, now let's look at 2 things that we need to take note from from the past presidential election and, of course, this coming one. If you look at the last presidential election, what shocked us most was that it was won by the Labour Party, not even the ruling party. It was won by another party, the party that has been said that had no structure. So, what's your party doing now to make sure that you are able to not only defeat the ruling party but also the Labour Party who won the last presidential election, because they also would want to try and repeat that scenario?
My brother, I can tell you that Zenith Labour Party won that election in Lagos State. We are number 4. If you Google it, if you check the results, the official result released by INEC, the Zenith Labour Party was number 4. That means we have done very well. If assuming things will go on well, we have seen and heard and observed some irregularities, some complaints, of course, both in the presidential elections and also in the governorship elections. So we won that election in Lagos State, and we are ready, and we are doing more. We are campaigning the more. I know we have a few more days to campaign. After leaving this place, we are still campaigning, and we cannot campaign 24 hours before the election. That's by Friday, no more campaign.
Yes.
I can tell you that the Labour Party is the party to beat in the coming Saturday, March 11th, governorship elections.
All right. What about the incumbents? Of course, you are going against the incumbents. You're also going against the ruling party, and Lagos is APC's stronghold. So you are going against almost what I call a Goliath. What would you say about that?
Well, you brought the issue of Goliath, but what happened in the Bible? I'm a clergyman, also a lawyer, and also a political activist. David defeated Goliath. It will happen again.
So your party is the David
to defeat the Goliaths.
All right.
But we are not also against alignments of forces. Anything can happen in politics. Every second, every hour is dynamic. It's important.
Yes.
I'm not against alignments. I will not tell you lies. There have been some moves, some calls, but we have not become our mind where to go to. But we are ready to go alone, because the interest of the people of Lagos State is number 1. It's paramount. Not just to go there for what. I'm not talking about money. No shishi to be taken, no shishi to be given out or to be received. But we are about. But if you think that alignment, because we have professors of alignment, it's a department in political science and law. Alignment, even rigging. This issue of rigging. There's a professor of rigging to rig election, but that's bad. It's not a good thing. But it's an anti-democracy to rig elections. But alignment is and realignment of course, in the history of Nigeria, you know that from the first republic, second republic, there have been alignment of forces. So if we see some goodwill people who have the interest of Nigerians, interest of Lagosians in their mind, and they bring and their own agenda, their own manifesto is also in consonance with our own manifesto, we can work together. That is not against the will of God and against political success and activism.
And finally, looking at the gubernatorial elections that's coming up 11th of March, what are your expectations? I mean, if you look at the last presidential election, INEC said that the results will be uploaded immediately after it's been declared at the polling unit straight to IMF, but we did not get to see that. So what are the expectations towards this next election?
I hope, and we are all praying, that INEC will live to its promise that all results to the BVN and the electronic device that as the voters are accredited after accreditation, and the votes, that the result will be transmitted to the necessary quarters. I pray, I hope they will keep their promise and it will be better. And also, apart from that, the Ministry of Information and Orientation should make sure that there's enough jingles in various languages for people to come out. There should be no fear. People are afraid to even come out, thinking that Lagos State will be a theater of war. It will not be, by the grace of God. I also call on the law enforcement agencies, the police, and all those other concerned to be available and to make sure that they are independent and they do their work. But before I also end my discussion with you, I want to also say that the Zenith Labour Party has already made up their mind to increase the salaries of all civil servants in Lagos State from level 01 to level 06. We are going to double their salaries. Therefore, level 07 pro rata basis. We are also going to do for the first time what we call the commission, the clergy welfare commission, for the first time in Africa and Lagos State. The clergy Welfare Commission. We want to take care of men of God, both the Islamic and the Christian men of God, the alphas, the imams, and the pastors, because some of them are not doing well at all. Because the church is a charitable organization. We want to set up, I repeat again, it's a covenant we have, and also we are going to build for the Nigerian Bar Association. I've already spoken with them at the last meeting. I spoke that we are going to build a 15-story international bar center, whereby all lawyers newly who have graduated from the law school, they have no office. That no lawyer will lack office. You have problem with your landlord, you cannot afford office, there will be an office for you. That's for the first time in East Africa, International Bar Center, 15-story building. We have a floor for the sons, mediation center, live benches, and there will be facilities, the bookshop, there shall be a place for research. So, no lawyer will lack office in Lagos State for the first time if the Zenith Labour Party are voted into power. Don't forget, Zenith Labour Party, first in your mind, last in the ballot. Zenith Labour Party, possibilities, new ideas, and partnership.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moses Adekoyejo Kassim. Thank you for gracing BISCOM Politics. We hope to see you next time also. Thank you very much for gracing this program.
Thank you for having me, and God bless you. I'll be happy to be here next time after we have been sworn in as the governor and deputy governor of Lagos State.
All right, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
And this is where we draw the curtains today on BISCOM Politics. I'm Olumide Shukwena. Thanks for watching.